The veil is a wound inflicted upon this world. It must be healed. I have taken precautions to minimize the damage, Varric. People are always dying. It is what they do. We shared a journey years ago. Do you believe that I would do this if there was some other better option? You came a long way and made a valiant effort, Varric, but this story does not end with my downfall. No! No! You have no idea what you have done. I was not destroying the world. When you disrupted my ritual, the magical energies pulled me here, into the Fade. Your physical body is unconscious, but you shed a few drops of blood at the ritual site. Enough for a tenuous connection. Firstly, I abhor the use of blood magic. Secondly, had I the power to control you, I would already have used it. As I said, I do not want to be here any more than you do. But your actions have set events in motion, and I would not have your ignorance on my conscience. And how much experience do you have willing yourself from sleep to wakefulness? While you practice, perhaps you would like to hear about the consequences of your actions. The Evanurus, or as you would call them, the Elven Gods, the creatures that escaped. In ancient times, they ruled the elves, but that was not enough. They sought not just to be obeyed, but to be worshipped. When I rebelled, they drew on the horrific magic of the Blight, corrupting all they saw until I trapped them. Thanks to you, though, I am now trapped, and the blighted Elven Gods walk free. You saw them escape from my prison. The prison in which I had trapped them had begun to crumble. I was moving them to another. Free them! My mortal enemies. I was ensuring that they would never escape their prison. I had a plan. Varric is quite practiced at shading the truth himself. They said they were gods. Blighted, tyrannical, sadistic gods. It took all my power to imprison them millennia ago, but I am certain you will be fine.
Lies, treachery, and rebellion, depending upon the story. And how could I help? I do not have my ritual dagger. I cannot access my network of mirrors to travel from the lighthouse to anywhere in the world. All I can offer is what I know, depending on the story. I had a ritual dagger of pure lyrium. My network of mirrors could take me from the lighthouse across the world in moments. Right now, you seem to have neither. Do you intend to knock over a statue during their ritual? Quite right. Their power outstripped my own even before they embraced the corruption of the Blight, through trickery. I also had a ritual dagger of pure lyrium, and a network of mirrors to take me from the lighthouse across the world. Well then, I expect you will be busy. What else could I possibly do? I do not have my ritual dagger. I do not have the network of mirrors that took me from the lighthouse across the world. I have nothing, as the gods threaten this world again, all because you disrupted my ritual. You will soon see what I was trying to prevent.
Elganan and Gillenane are your problem to solve. This is your responsibility now.
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought. But perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. I am, after all, remembered as the god of lies, treachery, and rebellion. And what story shall we tell now? I led a rebellion for centuries that culminated in the creation of the Veil and the destruction of the Elven Empire. My information was accurate. Now you realize that the danger is real. But to be clear, it was accurate. You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Elganan and Gillenane. So your call to action is that any attempt is better than none? I understand your fear. Declare yourself the leader, and others may think you power-hungry, no better than those you oppose. You disrupted the ritual. Your plan is to tell me how powerful you aren't? So you led your team of recruits in anyway, collapsing the tunnel and saving the village. You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me. I suppose I was not so different when I started. My rebellion against the Evanurus, the Elven Gods as you call them, they wish to reclaim their dominion over this world, To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it. It is my fault. As the Dread Wolf, I was a thorn in their side. When my efforts weakened their grasp on the Elven people, they grew frustrated, then desperate. Once the corruption took hold of them, they were blind to its horror. It was just another source of power for them. Now they would blight the world without hesitation and call us backward and foolish for opposing them. Yes. Centuries ago, the Magisters of Tevinter opened my prison. A tiny fragment of the Blight escaped. That fragment grew beneath the earth and led to the blights that have swept across the world. However terrible the Blight is now, it is a mere fraction of what we will see if its full power is unleashed. Elganan and Gillenane escaped largely empty-handed, fortunately. Most of the Blight is still trapped in the prison I created ages ago. Correct. They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My Lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so. Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time. Follow us. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises? Agreed. Elganan and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Elganan and Gillenane. I gave no orders. All I offer are suggestions. I would tell you more were I not currently in prison thanks to your actions.
The Veravas, the lighthouse Solavellan, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so? Yes. I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
When last we spoke, you were hunting for followers of Elganan and Gillenane in hopes of finding specifics. Has your search been successful?
Unsurprising. The Venatori want magical secrets, and the Antan want to destroy anyone opposing their brutal expansion. Both will readily bow to anyone who promises them power. Dragons! That is worse than I had feared. Have you determined how the dragons are being directed? If it is blood magic, it may be possible to disrupt their control. The Blight. Of course.
Elganan would not bestow such power unless the Darkspawn were to serve as the main force of his army. And I suspect Gillenane will see the Darkspawn as new subjects for her modifications. That is the fate Elganan and Gillenane planned for this world then. Corruption and blighted slavery. Do you truly believe my goal was to destroy this world? The veil is a wound I cut into the Fade in a moment of desperation. While making their prison, it should not exist. I had a host of spirits ready to help when the veil fell. They would have minimized the loss of life. Thousands would still have perished. Varric would never have agreed to such a plan. At least, those deaths would have been on my conscience. But the world would once again be as it should be. Many would have died, I know. But afterward, flowers would grow again. There was no better option. It is not vanity. I broke this world. I am the only one who can fix it. The world is broken because of my past choices. It falls to me to heal it, even if that healing comes with a cost. I am not a god. I am as I have always been, a man, all too aware of his failings. But equally aware that if he did not act, accepting the judgment it would bring, all would be lost. They call me the Dread Wolf. What will they call you when this is over? Pragmatism. You will focus on the present, knowing that someday you will face the consequences of your choices. Acceptance. You are willing to face the consequences your actions may one day bring, because the world needs you. Confidence. Certainty that you can do better. I believe I can work with that. If the gods are using dragons, you will wish to find someone trained to fight them. Have you unlocked the Lighthouse Solavellan? I cannot help you from in here. You may need to find an expert in the magic of the Fade. And if the Darkspawn are to be Elganan's army, you will need Grey Wardens to fight them. Doubtful. you will want an army. And I believe you will find a way to obtain one. You seem to have a knack for gaining the cooperation of your adversaries. How fares your battle? And you have questions. I propose a bargain. I will answer your question if you answer mine. How are the Grey Wardens? Do they understand the truth of the danger yet?
What did you think my help would look like, Rook? I need to know that you are prepared.
You're a Grey Warden yourself. Surely you have friends within the Order you might call upon. Indeed. But the truth is merely recalled, while a lie must be constructed. Knowing you would expend the effort to construct that lie rather than answer truthfully would tell me a great deal. But the Grey Wardens as a whole still do not trust you yet, as I feared. When I asked you why you should be trusted to lead the fight, you said you were no stranger to fighting stronger opponents. That sufficed for me. But the Grey Wardens fight Darkspawn and Archdemons, foes no one else can stand against. They see themselves as the best prepared for this battle.
You cannot defeat Elganan and Gillenane without the Wardens. What will you do to bring them to your side?
Have you ever ridden home in a wagon and felt the streets go from paved to dirt beneath the wheels? The horse is slow, and everything grows quiet as you're near home. What do you call that feeling? No, you do not. Elganan destroyed that emotion. He burned it from the mind of every living being. There were spirits of that feeling, just as there are spirits of joy or fear or despair. I begged them to fight. They waited too long. Without the emotion in this world to focus on, they faded until nothing remained. When you grow quiet, it is a part of your soul reaching for a feeling and finding emptiness. Because I failed. How? What will you do?
And how many Wardens will die before the first Warden realizes his mistake? I once warned an elven village that Gillenane was coming and they were in danger. They would not listen. I had to watch as their bodies twisted, as their shrieks turned into the grunting of animals. Their eyes were the worst part. They were still aware. They knew what had been done to them. I gained little peace from knowing that I had tried to warn them. Is that what you hope for? Then what will you do?
Or remove him. Did you know the Evanurus once numbered many more than those whose names survive in the Elven Pantheon? One warlord was particularly cruel. I sought to free his slaves, but so fearsome was his reputation that none would join me. I made people laugh at him. For 12 years. Every sound near him, from whispered pleas to shouted oaths to crackling fire, all became mocking laughter. His mind broke under the ridicule, and when he fell, his slaves rose up and joined me. If not that, then what? Easily said, but it will have to be enough for now. You have answered my question, and I owe you an answer in return. There never were Tevinter gods. The archdemons, as you call them, were always merely the weapons of the Evanurus. Unfortunately, the Dragon Thrall's life force is bound to the Evanurus as both power and protection. You will not be able to kill or likely even harm one of the Evanurus until their Dragon Thrall is slain. The archdemons were once high dragons. The Evanurus bound them as a source of power. When I imprisoned the gods, their dragons remained free. That was my mistake. I never bound a dragon to myself, for I believed that to enslave another creature was immoral. As such, I did not understand the power that connection gave. I thought the prison I had made was perfect. But their dragons were the conduit through which they spoke to dreaming minds. Each is different, shaped by the whims and ego of its master. Elganan is the Lord of Tyranny. He would have ruled alone had Nathor not forced him to share power. Those who are strong, he molds into dictators themselves, with visions of godhood. Those who are weak, he crushes. His archdemon reflects him. It is huge to feed his ego, the epitome of dragonkind, bent to his will. He is cruelty and arrogance personified. All of the Evanurus were flawed, but he made all of them worse. By contrast, Gillenane was a servant of Andrew, whose skill at making monsters earned her promotion to the Evanurus. She is brilliant, ambitious, and unconstrained by anything you would understand as morality. In a kinder world, you would never need to see what she has done to her archdemon. In this world, I only hope you kill it quickly. In any event, the Evanuris will not be vulnerable until their archdemons are dead. It will not be easy. But you are this world's only hope. I would not suggest this path if I did not believe you could succeed. Even with their dragons dead, the Evanuris are powerful and well protected. You will need to use my dagger, the one you recovered. It can pierce their enchantments and strike them down. Even a single opportunity to strike the Evanuris down will be rare, fleeting, and costly. You will not have another chance to catch them unawares. When you strike, you must be fully prepared. The fall of Weishaupt reverberated across the Fade, as did the fall of an archdemon. But unless I am mistaken, both Elganan and Gillenane yet stand. And how are you doing? Of course. As a leader, you are wise to put away concerns and show only confidence to your team. And your adversaries. At least you still have Varric to talk to. What of your companions? How have they handled the events at Weishaupt? You saw Treviso blighted. What makes Weishaupt harder to bear? Rook. I led a rebellion against Elganan for 100 of your lifetimes. I have been where you now stand. Do you know how many times I had to order my rebels to retreat when we were outmatched in raw power? You rendered Gillenane mortal and escaped with your lives. The sting of wishing you had done more will push you to improve. But Weishaupt was a victory, and your team will see your passion, even if you must conceal the extent of your own pain. How are your companions after what happened? I expect their morale is shaken after what happened. Not the worst outcome, all things considered. Properly focused, that anger can forge your team into a weapon keen enough to cut through any obstacle. That is to be expected. They faced Gillenane in the flesh. Properly focused, their fear will spur them to fight harder, to be ready next time. Indeed, they must know beyond any doubt that you believe in them. You cannot stand against Elganan and Gillenane with logic. Those motivated by greed or self-interest will change alliances. But those who serve you with passion and loyalty will follow wherever you lead, even to their deaths if necessary. If you gain their loyalty, you will not need to order them. They will volunteer. A cause like yours is larger than any one person. It is even larger than your own wishes. Your team will not thank you for sparing them if the world falls to the Blight. But perhaps it will not come to that. For now, you have a team to rebuild. Perhaps you are right. Building your team is the best way to minimize the chance of such an order becoming necessary. A good leader never makes such a decision lightly. But when the time comes, it is better to be prepared. And perhaps it will not come to that. The stronger your team, the more chances you will have to avoid such a decision. If you oppose Elganan and Gillenane's minions, you will get your opportunity. Possibly. But more importantly, you will aggravate them. You rendered Gillenane mortal at Weishaupt. It is an embarrassment, an insult neither she nor Elganan can ignore. If you continue to disrupt their plans, you will not need to track them down. They will come to you. I have absolute faith in your ability to aggravate enemies who should know better than to underestimate you. As long as you are ready when the opportunity comes. One final warning. You have survived a confrontation with Gillenane, which few still live to claim, but her power pales in comparison to Elganan's. If he takes the field himself, remember, in a fight such as ours, escaping to fight another day is a victory. Rook, can you hear me? You are correct. Elganan's magic has thinned the veil, allowing me to speak to you directly. Then I am pleased that for once, I can offer some assistance. I fear we lack the time for explanation. The Venatori are coming. Do you truly wish to rebuff an offer of assistance? If you can rescue the elves, Elganon is mine to face. Elganon! Lathalin! Ma banal avanuris! Masalin algalana! Your cruelty forced my hand. Again you have caged our people, and again I will set them free. You have lost the right to speak her name. The only reason Mythal joined you was that she knew the monster you would become if left unchecked. She thought to temper your brutish ego. Instead you betrayed her, murdered her. You should be near where you need to be. With luck, you can still save the elves. The cruelty is nothing new, but what has happened to the vaunted brilliant mind of Elganon the Mighty? The blight has left you blunt and slow, a monster, not a mastermind. You used to be a challenging opponent. I must speak to you in this tongue. It seems Elven is beyond your grasp. Once the blight is free, it will rule this world, and you will be its attack dog. You will burn this world at its command, as Andrul did at yours, and you will leave only ruin behind you. You could heal it. You have the strength to repair the damage without using the blight. But it will not have Alluvians, will it? Juné built them, and now he is dead. Our great cities came from Silays, our deepest mysteries from Dirthaman. You were a bully who ruled over what others had built, and now the others are gone. Who do you have left? Gillenane? You cannot rebuild the world by stitching together monsters. I can guide you to one of my old hideouts. You can use it to make your escape. The wards still in place there will shield you all from Elganon's sight.
The Dalish prisoners escaped safely? Good.
Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again.
Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elganon was a reminder of simpler times. I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elganon was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I've found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another? How so? I had not thought of it that way. But yes, we had centuries to stoke the fires of our hatred. I saw his rise to tyranny coming, and could not stop it. And he saw me disrupt his plans for dominion time and time again. I have no desire to be in charge. I see you have been observing me as well during these conversations. Yes. He is far more powerful than I am, and he wields that power like a graceless bludgeon. When I defeat an enemy, it is because I outsmarted them, because I was right. When he does, it is only because he was stronger. Aren't they? He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong. And I suppose I had you. It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong. There was truth to their stories. My rebellion had indeed disrupted the lives of those who had been comfortable. And when I created the Veil, I destroyed an empire. Their judgments were fair, if clouded. Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants was vexing. There are few things that frustrate me as much as ignorance. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade. Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me.
I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganan, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least. I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elganan's machinations. No, I am sorry. That was poorly said. You have earned better from me.
Every act of resistance is a thorn in his side. He will break soon.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganan out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong. The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it, but being afraid to change. Elganan's pride is no greater than mine, but he denies any failure on his part, and I at least try to acknowledge my mistakes. If I could not admit when I was wrong, I would be no better than Elganan, a mistake I shall endeavor not to repeat. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable.
It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
I said that I resolved to do so, not that I succeeded. She is a good woman. Growing close to her was selfish of me. I live with countless regrets. Some of them I have grown to cherish more than my victories. She does. One of several I grew fond of despite myself when I was with the Inquisition.
There was also Cole, a spirit of compassion I helped adapt to our world. He was the only one who knew who I really was. I miss him a great deal. Josephine, the Inquisition's ambassador, was a bastion of kindness and decency in a world that looked down on elves and apostates. Even Cassandra Pendergast of the Order of the Seekers. She was what a believer should be. Faithful, practical, committed to serving, not ruling. I suppose I did bond with the Inquisition after all, as you have with your team. Elganan and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganan's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse. It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them. This unnatural corruption demanded my personal attention. It is strong. It has already blocked the escape route I had planned. We will need another way to the surface. I will destroy what corruption I can. You must cut through these monstrosities before Gillenane unleashes something worse. You would unleash a blight on this world and call it a masterwork! You, who were the most sensitive of us! I am so sorry I failed you. There is only one way I can help you now. This place and the corruption within it must be eradicated. No trace can be allowed to spread. Go. Your work here is done. There is no need for you to witness what I must do. Andaran Atishan, Lassa Gilan, the false gods, the Evanuris, have overreached. I shall humble them. Within their citadel lies a relic, with the power to imprison even a god. With it, I can bring their tyranny to an end, forever. They've changed their plans. Elganan may be a tyrant, but he is not a fool. That means the relic is genuine. We are close, and Elganan is afraid. Put our strongest in the vanguard, and prepare to breach the citadel. It will not be easy, but we shall win the day. Death to all tyrants! You must hold fast for victory! It was not for nothing, my friend. The distraction the spirits gave us allowed our agents to retrieve the relic. No force could have breached their citadel, but it was necessary for the enemy to believe we were committed. A heavy sacrifice, but one that gave us a real chance to end the war. They died true to their nature, doing what they loved, Falasan. Let that be a comfort, that this war did not corrupt them into something different from what they were supposed to be. Glad to see we all made it. Elganan's forces are making things interesting. We must be swift. Elganan is coming. Quickly! Elganan approaches. I will hold off Elganan himself. for as long as I am able. He cannot. I have made sure of... Elganon is a powerful opponent. My apologies. It is of no consequence. What matters, my friends, is that today, all of us are free.
You cannot do this, Elganon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over. So we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own. We are not gods. You will learn that. I was not certain you would come. The Evanuris seek the magic of the Blight. Though I wish I could believe you, I have sensed the breaking of the wards. What if, instead, you left the Evanuris and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle? As you must. The Blight is our mistake. We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mathol, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay. But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides this talk of taking on a solid form, I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake? This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go. With this, the proper ritual will sunder every titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful, what we're doing. The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them. Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the elven people? They deserve it. I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry. And so you have your victory. You live, and Gillenane does not. Are you not proud to finally reach this moment? Or did you think you'd win the day without some painful sacrifice?
You and your friends stood against the gods. Your courage is laudable, but mortals cannot win this battle. I am sorry it is what must be. What failure cuts your conscience now, I wonder? Regret, like all emotions, is a powerful thing. It can bruise us, break us, or blind us to the truth. Regret is even strong enough to serve as the lock on a prison built to hold gods. But such a prison can hold any captive, even you. You were never ready to make the sacrifices that leadership requires. So through our connection, I molded you into someone the prison would accept in my place. Your work is done. You are as surprising as ever. Even I could not have escaped that prison. For you to manage it. He was a good man. What happened at the ritual site? I understand your anger. Yes. Whether I intended it or not, Varric's death is my responsibility. I understand your anger. If there had been any other way... Yes. I was wrong to do so. I was desperate. Unless I escaped, the world would fall to tyranny and blight. The only tool I had was my tenuous connection to you. As I said, I was wrong. Agreed. Rook, I am sorry. I know. I betrayed you because I believed that only I could save this world. But I have failed, Rook. I have not stopped Elganon. I have not even defeated his archdemon. The victories that have been won since Elganon and Gillenane escaped are yours, not mine. If we are to save this world, we must work together. I know I have earned your skepticism, but do you not believe that I wish to see the world free from Elganon's rule? I know. I cannot change the past. Things are different now. Together we can stop Elganon! Do you not believe I want to stop Elganon? If joining me and stopping Elganon requires the veil to stay in place, then I will pay that price unflinching. I swear by my own foolish pride, by love for friends I've failed and hurt, by everything I ever held as sacred. I will leave the veil untroubled. It will never come down by my hand. Now, if you will come with me, I can show you what has prevented me from reaching Elganan, and you can tell me your plan. And the blight tendril connecting to the Archon's palace. Yes, I thought the same. But some intelligence guides the tendrils. It has prevented me from getting closer. If you accompany me, I can finish, apologizing for the last time I betrayed you. Let us see if they have heard the legends of the Dread Wolf. Begone, Darkspawn! Flee or fall! You have betrayed your people! You should never have come to be! Abominations! Their twisted magic corrupts the Fade. Join Gillenane in death! Elganan populates his armies with the cruel and the brutal. No brilliant tacticians, only those he can dominate and those who wish to become like him. But you, Rook, your team is made from the clever, the wise and the loyal. You honored their strengths to make them yours. And that is why you are going to defeat him. Belara Luther of the Veil Jumpers. The spirits sang your praises for your defeat of Anaris. And the Evanuris killed Mythal. That was not Mythal. It was merely a fragment. You are Belara Luther of the Veil Jumpers, yes? Your people have done impressive work to stabilize magic in Arlathan. All knowledge comes with a price. If you have learned that already, you are wise indeed. You are Davrin of the Grey Wardens, and judging by your Valasleen, you are Dalish. I expect you have been urging the team not to trust the Dread Wolf, based on the stories you heard around the campfire in your youth. Have you told the Dalish? Mala Shavanas Sarathim. No, I suppose it does not. On that we agree. Professor Emmerich Volkaren, of the Morn Watch. The spirits speak well of you. The man who gave up immortality for a spirit of curiosity. So is Elganan. But the spirits do not speak well of him. Professor Emmerich Volkaren, of the Morn Watch. Or what remains of him, at least. I prefer to be known as Wisdom. Professor Emmerich Volkaren, of the Morn Watch. The spirits speak well of you. My experiences with necromancers have not always been so positive. I hold no animosity for spirits. They are beings of pure thought and emotion. In some ways I envy them. Were matters not pressing, it would be a privilege to speak with you further, Professor. Harding, I am sorry. Yes, I am. All of it. An Antivan crow and a spirit of determination? The two of you were bound unwillingly. It is a crime against you both. I may be able to separate you safely. A fair point. When other options are exhausted, my offer will remain. Perhaps when our battles have ended. Nevgalas, the elven slaves of Minrathous say you are one of the Shadow Dragons, fighting for their freedom. You were there. You saw that it was an accident. I was losing control of the ritual. All of my power was focused on keeping it in check, none of which brings Varric back. Yes. Yes. His archdemon? I'm sorry. The damage he wrought upon her soul has left only a weapon. She is gone. It is a credit to you that you thought to ask. None should live in slavery. Whatever intelligence Elganan has set to direct the Blight, we are not far from it. Beyond the Blight there, perhaps. Do you feel it? The Blight reacts to my presence. There! That must be the source of whatever intelligence guides it. If you can destroy the mind guiding the Blight, we may be able to reach the palace. I can accompany you no further. My presence will only draw the Blight to you. We are out of time. I will defeat the Archdemon. Once Elganan is mortal, the final blow must be yours. I can think of no one better to wield this. Then this has been a day of surprises for us both. You will have what you need. If you do not trust me to uphold my oath, that is all the more reason for the dagger to be out of my hands. Please, Rook. Good luck. When next we meet, let us be standing over Elganan's body. You are mortal, Elganan. Enjoy it while it lasts. It is done. The world owes you a debt, both for defeating Elganan and for bringing down the veil. I am sorry for this final betrayal, but I will do what I can to minimize the damage. When you see the old world restored, please, Rook, I do not wish to fight against you. This world is broken, Rook, because of my mistakes. Letting the veil collapse. It is not just people. Spirits. You cannot understand the...
I cannot.
To stop now would dishonor those I have wronged to come this far. Venan, I lied. I betrayed you. Irabolas, Venan. But I cannot. Long before we met, I failed my oldest friend. She died for that failure. If I leave the veil in place, I am destroying the world she wanted. And I will have... She will have died for nothing. Morrigan. With all the things that I have done, my life force now sustains the veil. With every breath I take, I will protect the innocent from my past failures. The Titan's dreams are mad from their imprisonment. I cannot kill the blight, but I can help to soothe its anger. I will go and seek atonement.
Argelas Virbanal.
Thank you, Rook. It is over. You could never stand against me alone. If you will excuse me, the final enchantments require a delicate touch. Elganon would have seized his victory by force. You were not crushed by the power of the Dread Wolf. You were bested fairly, by wits alone. Bested fairly by wits alone. I taught you well. You think yourself capable of judging me? I have faced things you could not possibly comprehend. You are a mortal! A mortal! And I am... I am a fool who finally met his match. You sneer at me as though you understand. You are mortal compared to you, to your infinitesimal existence. I am a god! And you are alone now, truly. You have lost. Everyone, everything. It is over. No!